The Director of Economic Research at the Institute of Economic Affairs, Dr. John Kwache, is pushing for the formation of a fiscal council to ensure a prudent implementation of fiscal rules to monitor the national budget expenditure. He disclosed this when talking to Joy Business's Winston Taki. This is AM Business.
The Fiscal Council is like if they were in place, together with even the rule. So two things, a rule and a fiscal council. I don't think that, things would have gotten so bad. You see, because you have a rule in place, and if somebody is also helping to make sure, monitor that you obey the rules, okay, you won't have this excessive borrowing, excessive deficits, and the consequences, macroeconomic instability and unsustainable debt, which creates problems with for you, because then you lose confidence of the international markets. They begin to move their monies away. Credit rating agencies, underrate you, and then so you get into a problem where the international market is challenging your policy credibility, okay? So when you get to that point, no matter what you try to do, even if you inform the markets that I am going to undertake the most severe fiscal adjustments, at that point, they may not even believe you. So they'll say, I'll go to the IMF. The IMF will impose that kind of discipline on you, and then we can be sure that you will conform. But we don't believe that you can do it on your own. But as I'm saying that, we shouldn't have waited to that point. So if we had these institutional checks that we are proposing, the rules, the Fiscal Council in place, we wouldn't have gotten to that extent.
Also, in your presser, you mentioned that we should be looking forward to a balanced budget. What are you saying about that?
Oh, that's me taking the fiscal rule to another level. As I said, the fiscal rule, there are various forms. You can place it at the level of the fiscal balances. And the fiscal balances, there are several measures of the fiscal balance. You see, you can have the primary balance, which takes out interest payments. That's the definition. And then you can have the overall balance, which includes the interest payments. And then, so I'm saying that, and then you can place targets, deficits, targets, ceilings on the balance that you choose. So we currently have 5%, which has been suspended. We are proposing 3%. And then the balanced budget will means that it's 0%. Do you get me? Now, moving from 5% to 3%, some people are saying that even that is too restrictive. But I'm saying that, for me, if I had my way, we will have just 0%. In other words, balance the budget. You spend as much as you collect revenue for. That is the most disciplined kind of situation. There will be no deficit. The problems that are associated with the deficit, the financing, the debt creation and all that will be eliminated. The question is whether that is reasonable. I mean, and even not reasonable, realistic. Not reasonable. The word is whether it is realistic. And I'm saying that if I look at our revenue potential in this country, the revenue that we don't collect is a lot. We don't even have to increase tax rates. If I look at our revenue potential, and then you bring in the receipts, potential receipts that we can get from our natural resources, we should get enough money to fund our development needs, you see, without incurring these, perennial deficits, which leads to all kinds of, problems. That's where I am coming from. So what I'm saying is that I would have imposed a very strict rule on us that says that balance your budget. Then all their problems will go away. But again, the question is whether it's realistic. And for me, I think it's realistic. It's achievable.
Interesting. Now, let's, away from the council, let's look at the issue about the case that you said, that if institutions or ministries decide to sign a natural resource asset to a company by giving out 50% of the resource revenue, that institution or the person needs to be sent to the court of law to answer for that reason. What is the wisdom in that?
Oh, look, it's my personal opinion. No. Maybe this one, I've tweeted, it's out there already. And I'm saying that I'm not tweeting. When I tweet, it's my personal opinion. I don't tweet for an institution. Okay. So the point I'm making is that we've been talking about owning our natural resources, Of course, some people are talking about owning 100% of it. Dr. Bamia is out there saying that. Okay? So even what I am saying is 50%. I'm saying that at least I don't want anybody to sign a contract that gives away more than 50% to the foreign company. That's what I'm saying. Even we should be moving, towards 100% ownership. But maybe realistically, it may take time, because when they come in with their expertise and their capital and so on, you may have to allow them to recoup some of it. But I'm saying that we shouldn't go beyond, we should own at least 50% of it. That's all that I'm saying. And so if somebody, a minister or a public official, signs a contract that gives away more than 50% of it, of our natural resource to a foreign company, I'm saying that in effect he's causing financial loss to the state. That's how I see it. You may agree with me or you may not agree with me. That's my opinion. And I put out these opinions there so that they generate a debate. Some people can come out and say, "Yeah, Dr. Kwache, maybe you are right, we support you." Others will say, "No, you are going too far." Then we debate it.
Interesting. A lot of the political candidates are on the campaign trips, raising policies, raising issues, both the NDC, NPP, and any other political party. At the moment, what do you perceive to be the key central issue that should be a focus, first by the politicians and also the electorate?
Oh, the issues, the key issues, we all know them. I mean, probably I will place corruption on top. Of course, the economy. And the economy mostly is macroeconomic stability, because that's what has eluded us. And if you don't create stable conditions also, you may not be able to achieve the other economic growth and all that. So economic stability is important. But there are longer-term issues like economic transformation, which we have been talking about forever. Even when I say something is long-term, you see, it doesn't mean that we should wait to do it in the future. If something is will take a long term to, bear fruit, you should start from today. We should have even started from yesterday. So even if it's transformation, we should have started. Macroeconomic stability has been eluding us forever, and it's all because of lack of this fiscal discipline, even monetary discipline. That one will be going to that next. I mean, that will be our next forum or roundtable. So in terms of the key issues, of course, corruption, the economy, macroeconomic stability. We need to do something. Energy. Energy is so critical, because look at the instability in our energy supply and all that, and then the debt overhang in the sector that has to be dealt with and so on. Agriculture, for me, is also something that we need to address. How come that we with all the resources that we have, arable land and so on, we cannot achieve food security for this country, and food is so expensive. If you look at the CPI basket, 44% of it, the weight, 44% weight is food. In other words, what he's saying is that on average, every Ghanaian, your monthly expenditure 44% of it goes to food, and the rest goes to all other things. It's not acceptable. What happened to planting for food and jobs and all those projects and programs? So food, agriculture. In fact, the thing is that Ghana, it looks like, because of the situation of the economy, everything seems to be important. Do you get me? Infrastructure. Even people are talking about education, health. You see, everything is important. But in that hierarchy, we should do, because corruption steals money from the rest of us, and then it goes into private pockets, and it causes a hardship to the masses and so on. If we were to check corruption, most of the resources that we lose, the funds that we lose to private people, could have come to the public coffers and help people. And then, as I said, energy is another problem. Infrastructure, education, and so on and so on.
What would be your assessment of this government, especially in terms of corruption?
Oh, I didn't know that this question would come up. Corruption. We all know the indices. They published, the corruption perception indices, and they tell us what the story is. So, you don't need anybody to tell you. The perception out there, if you go and ask the ordinary Ghanaian, will tell you that we have not gotten anywhere. Of course, what you can credit this government is, establishing the institution, the public prosecutor, is it called independent public prosecutor? Is that it? Special, rather. The special prosecutor's office. Well, that's something that you say is a good thing, fulfilling the promise that he made, created it. But you see, if you create just the institution and, you don't empower it to be able to work, then what really are you doing? You just created the institution. Because I looked at the Special Prosecutors Act, and already I said, it has very serious flaws. First, the special prosecutor must be identified by the Attorney General. And then he must be appointed by the President. Okay. So already the guy is so connected with Attorney General, and the President also appoints him. Now, his funding also comes from the executive. I didn't see that the special prosecutor's funding even comes directly from the consolidated fund. So already the system is flawed. You are not empowering it to be able to, And then I think that, one thing I forgot. To do his prosecutions, he has to go through the Attorney General. Attorney General has to approve his prosecution. Why did Parliament even agree to put that kind of structure? Already you have rendered the office impotent. So even though they managed to put this structure in, it's not working. And then we have had several instances of corruption incidents and practices where we investigate, but we don't get anywhere. Somebody has said that if you want to really measure whether you are tackling corruption, you are addressing corruption, you look at the number of prosecutions, people who are being prosecuted and have been convicted and jailed.